Hi, welcome to Carnivore Africa. My name is Innocent. Today we are going to be discussing why we should not be eating plants, or why we should not eat plants. Yes, you heard me right. Why we should not eat plants. And these are some of the reasons that I'm sharing with us. Plants contain dangerous phytochemicals and anti-nutrients, and some of them include lectins. Among lectins we have grains. Grains include wheat, barley, rye, oats, and corn, or call it maize. In legumes, we have lectins within legumes, and legumes include beans, peas, groundnuts, or call them peanuts. And then also within the nightshades vegetables, there are lectins within nightshades. And then nightshades include pepper, tomatoes, eggplants, pumpkins. And these nightshades can cause a leaky gut, something called leaky gut or intestinal hyperpermeability. In some of the videos we shall be finding out more about leaky gut, because most people have this problem. And plants have chemicals called tannins. Tannins are found in tea, wines, some fruits, and chocolates. And these tannins, they inactivate enzymes and reduce protein digestion. That is one of the dangers of the tannins. Plants contain cyanide. So some of the plants which contain cyanide include cassava. We have heard stories of people who eat some wild cassava and die. So in this country where I live, there has been stories of people who eat cassava and die, families. Now that is what is known as the dangerous or the toxic cassava. But also this other cassava which we have, which is considered non-toxic, it has levels of cyanide. And this cyanide is a poison. It is a serious poison, and much as it doesn't kill us, but with time and depending on how much you're eating, it has a negative effect on your health. Then we have something called oxalates. Oxalates are also found in plants. Plants such as spinach, sweet potatoes, avocado have oxalates, and these oxalates bind to calcium and other minerals, hindering them from being absorbed by the body. Then also plants have chemicals called phytates. Phytates bind to minerals like iron, zinc, calcium, and magnesium, and make them less available for absorption. So these chemicals have these kinds of negative effects. Then we know that some plants contain carbohydrates. Carbohydrates raise blood glucose, which causes something called glycation. High blood glucose causes glycation to the body cells. Glycation is like cell frying. If you have moved around and you see this chicken which has been fried or roasted, the color which it changes, that is a way of defining glycation. That is glycation. So even much glucose in the blood is causing the cells to become like that. Also, carbohydrates also raise insulin levels. Chronically high levels of insulin is pathogenic. It is important for us to remember that carbohydrates are not an essential macronutrient. It means that actually we don't need carbohydrates. We need proteins, we need fats, but we don't need carbohydrates, because the body is able to use some of the substrates to provide energy. The body is able to synthesize glucose by itself without using carbohydrates. So we actually don't need carbohydrates. Again, plants contain heavy metals. Heavy metals such as arsenic. Arsenic is carcinogenic. Then also cadmium and lead. Now specifically these heavy metals which I've talked about, they are found in one of the grains called rice. Yes, we know rice, we enjoy rice. Rice is food which is eaten every day all over the world. And rice contains these dangerous heavy metals. I've heard one of the presidents saying that doesn't eat rice, and I guess that is one of the reasons why he doesn't eat rice. And also rice is very, very high in sugar. For example, 150 grams of rice, which is something, a handful. Rice, this one can even be eaten by a child, 150 grams. If you eat that amount, you are the same as someone who has taken 10 teaspoonfuls of sugar, of table sugar. So it is that serious with rice. Plants absorb pesticides and herbicides. We know that this is a common practice in agriculture to spray. We spray plants, then when there are weeds, we spray so that these chemicals can clear the weeds. And these pesticides and herbicides have a very, very negative effect on our bodies. And specifically plants, once you spray plants, they absorb these pesticides, and once we eat the plants, we're also eating them. We commonly use the pesticide, like glyphosate, is known to be carcinogenic. It means that it can easily cause cancer. Commonly sprayed plants include tomatoes, Irish potatoes, wheat, cabbages, and many more. Plants contain carcinogens. We have already talked about the chemicals which are carcinogenic, the heavy metals which are carcinogenic. Now, plants in themselves, plants contain carcinogens. For example, mushrooms. Mushrooms have, I think, over 60 known carcinogens. So, could the above explain why people commonly develop health conditions when they get past the age of 40s? Probably yes. It is important to note that fermentation may help in making plants a bit safer to eat and more bioavailable. Please check out my video on fermentation. So, in conclusion, while plants are the staple for most people alive, we need to appreciate that they contain components that wreak human health. Their inherent chemicals are a slow poison whose effects are felt as the years go by. It is also important to note that even after fermentation, the very fundamental B vitamins such as B6 and B12 are not found in any plant, but rather in meat and animal products. It is my humble appeal that people embrace animal-based diets which are nutrient-dense and without such poison to our bodies. Thank you so much for your time.